I placed my foot on the edge of the crack. My body froze as I contemplated what I was about to do. I knew not where it would lead, whether inside that dark dankness its only destination was death. It's strange how a man can one minute be ready to face the unknown and the next be unable to move even one step forward. But there was something inside me, willing me on, something as yet I cannot explain, a question which would worry any man, whether his thoughts are indeed his own. But I had ruminated far too much time. And with the innocence of a child, stepping out into the great unknown, I took a leap into the darkness beyond. From thence onwards, I found myself falling deep within the fabric of this unsightly darkness. And the only colour that was seen during my fall was that which came from my mouth, as my stomach was forced to heave its load. I felt as if I would never stop, so much so that my ribs began to ache, my heart beat fast, and I wondered whether I was falling to whether my frail body would outlast this deterioration. I looked far up above to see a small light, like a star so far away, which had once been my bedroom, from where I had taken this leap of faith. As I diminished further still, I felt a sense of meaninglessness of time, as if, like the bottle of sand that falls from one container to the other, had been halted and placed on its side. It was then I contemplated the very fact that was I indeed actually falling at all, as I could no longer tell, for all I could fathom was utter darkness. I could see no point of reference, no horizon. I was in an abyss of nothingness. And with that very thought, I began to consider my life. The life that man leads was rather like this. When I was a child, and I spoke as a child, I looked to the stars and thought nothing of it. And whence I had readied adulthood, that very same view gave me a sense of wonder. I would sit upon patches of grass and gaze into the stars, and would imagine myself falling up towards them and free-falling through space, gliding effortlessly through the very expanse of the universe itself. How insignificant I would ponder as I returned to earth to see little insects, ants in fact, crawling up my very arm, and the equation would fit this ant to I to the universe to God. And how might the ant recognize or comprehend that which was above him? And then it dawned upon my very arrogance that how might man also swallow his humble pride and see above him that which was out of his reach? And yet, as the ant was unable to conceive me, I knew, as he must surely know, that existed I did. How as I found myself amongst the darkness, I wished that if it had not been for my folly in life, that I could have gone deeper within this direction. But long ago I had felt the grasp of the rope of God slip from my fingers. How I wished I could clamber back to it and save my soul. It was only then I realized that within this darkness was no sound. It was utter silence, like that one would imagine of the vacuum of a black hole. I tested out this theory by trying to scream, and no sound was heard. Suddenly, I felt a tugging at my whole body, as if the speed of my drop had suddenly been increased. Maybe I had indeed been motionless to that second. It led me to the belief that maybe I had been allowed that moment to think of something important, as if I had been given a chance of redemption. As I felt with the speed of a bullet from a gun, I captured images in my head. As if they were falling towards me, I saw a strange image of myself inside a cage, yelling and screaming, my hands blood red. What were these images of which I saw? Then, in complete contrast, I saw an image of myself sitting by a stream of which flowed endlessly from every direction, and I was seated upon a high chair on the most lush grass. I tried hard to hold on to these images, to try and find a meaning, if indeed one was to be found, but before I could do so, I found myself lying upon the floor. I lifted my head up and gazed to see my whereabouts. It seemed like a crypt, a tomb, a mausoleum.